Hello men of culture, welcome to the fourth part of the series in which we are looking for the most based games for the NES. Go get some popcorn, some taquitos, soda or whatever it is you are eating, even a dick. Get comfortable and enjoy the video. Number 31, Armadillo. Platformer where we control an armadillo with a Peter Pan hat. I do not know why, but something tells me that at first they wanted to put a Mexican hat on him, but they changed their mind. In this game we can also turn into a little ball to defeat enemies, and we have to go exploring the world in this weird kind of board where to advance we have to keep closing squares until we trap the boss. Alright, the final boss, so we understand each other better, since the game is in Japanese because it never left that country. At certain points I do not know what I am supposed to do. Supposedly we can enter these structures, where there will be an NPC who will tell us something, but I do not know what it is. If any of you speak otaku you can translate it in the comments. As for gameplay, it plays like any platformer from that era except for one small detail, and that is, that I do not know how to explain it, but the input lag in the control in this game can be tedious at first. It is like the inputs you put in get extended a little more, so you will accidentally fall many times until you get used to it. For that reason, I give it a 7. It is fine, but it could be better. Even so, I will add it to my favorites list. Number 32, ASO Armored Scrum Object. Actually, the American version of this game is called Alpha Mission, which was released as an arcade and then ported to the NES, except the port never left Otakulandia, so on the NES we will only find it as ASO. As for the game, it is like any spaceship game from that era. You move through a stage and shoot at anything that comes out. From what I was told, this game was pretty popular back in its time. I guess back then it was something different. Nowadays, since this is an arcade game, its difficulty was designed to take the spare coins you had left from buying groceries to get your Pringles and your Dr. Pepper. For those who do not know, arcade machines worked with coins, meaning that to play you had to insert a coin, and if you got game over you had to put in another coin. Rest in peace the piggy banks of many kids from that era. So it is very hard. If your ship is destroyed you have to start from the beginning even if you are at the boss level. I spent a good while trying to beat the crap out of the final boss, but there was no way. I understand that times were different, so many people must have liked the game, but nowadays I do not think your little cousin's skibidi toilet brain can handle it, and I suppose many of you will find it tedious to always have to start from the beginning every time you lose a life, while some will like the challenge. That is why I give it a 7. Personally, I would add it to my favorites list, although I understand that many of you would not like it. Number 33, Astro Robo Sasa. Game with very original gameplay. Basically, to move we have to shoot in the opposite direction of where we want to go. I mean, if we want to go right, we have to shoot left, and the pushing force will move us in the desired direction. Same for going up or down. If we want to go up, we have to shoot down. That is it. At first, it is hard to get the hang of it. You have to know how to go up and down. The objective is to grab or destroy these pickups, which will give us energy to keep shooting the blaster. Yes, the bullets are not infinite, so you will have to optimize their use so you do not waste them. But that will not be a problem for a hood ninja, haha. Even so, there are levels where it fills up with so many things that it is hard to aim and also destroy the objective. Luckily, the pickups are pretty generous, and like every good game from this era, there always has to be the water level in which we float instead of falling. I could not pass it because I got stuck in this spot and could not get out no matter how much I shot. Let us see if you all can get further. Good game, I give it an 8. No doubt, I will add it to my favorites. Number 34, Athletic World. Unfortunately, this game requires a special accessory called the NES Power Pad to be able to play it. If you do not have it, you cannot. I suppose something can be done using you know what, but I am too lazy. From what I have seen, it is a good game. If you can get one plus the Power Pad, you can stay in shape. Nintendo always so innovative. But I can't give it a score because I could not play it, so you shall be the judge. Number 35, Attack, Animal Gakuen. Rail shooter like always, except since this game was made by Japanese folks. Our protagonist is a flying Japanese schoolgirl, haha. As for gameplay, it uses a pseudo 3D perspective, and it is like any rail shooter from that era, except in my opinion it has a cool little tune and a pretty colorful art style, haha. That said, when facing the bosses the level always changes in a flickering way, so if you have epilepsy you should be careful with that or something. I do not know exactly how it works, but I warn you just in case. It is not bad. I give it a 7. It will also go to my favorites list. Number 36, Aussie Rules Footy. Australian rugby game with teams from Australia. Basically it is an attempt to adapt a rugby sports game to the NES, and what can I say? They did what they could. It is understandable that the technology was pretty limited for that era. Well, I picked the Sydney team and I picked the most macho color possible. As for gameplay, I cannot figure out how you are supposed to steal the ball, and as you can see they were handing me a beating. So I stopped playing before the humiliation got worse. You have to know when to retreat with the least loss. Haha, I am not going to be harsh on the game because back then there was not much 6 out of 10, but I would not add it to my favorites list. Number 37, Babel no Tu, or the Tower of Babel in English. Puzzle game where we will have to arrange these pieces so that we can reach the exit. It seems simple at first, but it does require quite a few IQ points. It has 64 levels, so you are going to have a good while to get bored. And out of curiosity I went to the second to last level to see how it was, and well, I did not know what to do. I think this can only be solved by someone with 130 IQ points. But for a simple inferior being like me, it was not possible. It is a very creative puzzle, honestly. I give it an 8, and yes, I would add it to my favorites list. Number 38, Back to the Future. Well, here is a small aside. What comes to mind when you imagine a Back to the Future game? That is right, a game where you move in a straight line dodging trash cans, fat dudes in pink shirts and julep dancers, manholes and oil puddles. You hear that music, imagine hearing it non-stop for the rest of the game. That would be a total lobotomy, haha. As you can imagine, this game was not well received in its time, although I suppose the fact that they promoted it as a Back to the Future game had part of the blame for the great disappointment it caused. Even so, even if you do not see it as a Back to the Future game, it is still a mech game. Simple gameplay, very dull art style, and what about the music? You can hear it yourselves, so I give it a 4. Number 39, Back to the Future, Part 2 and 3. It looks like they learned from the mistakes of the previous game, and at least they tried to give it a story, except it is a total trip. Basically, some dude named Biff stole an almanac of future sports events, traveled to the past to become a millionaire through sports betting, quite the entrepreneur, and now with all the money he earned he rules the world. As for gameplay, it plays like a platformer from that era. At least you can defeat enemies by jumping on them, and this enemy looks suspiciously familiar to me. The game is somewhat difficult, but at at least they give you quite a few lives. And the curious thing is that when you lose, the Back to the Future car takes you to the past where you were safe, although sometimes it works against you, just like what happened here. There is not much else to say about the game. I give it a 6. I do not see why not add it to the favorites, although I understand that many of you will not find it attractive. Number 40, Bad News Baseball. Very colorful baseball game. Honestly, compared to the first sports game we saw, this one felt much more enjoyable to me, even though I am not a big fan of the sport. The music is very good. The voices and animations are also very good. The game has a certain charm that will make it fun even if you are not much of a baseball fan. However, not everything is rosy. One problem I have noticed is that the controls are a real headache. Although it may not seem like it, the balls can be thrown by our opponent, either high, middle or low, and due to the NES graphics it is very hard to tell which way it is going, so it is tricky to hit it with the bat. But that is not the only problem. When we are the pitchers, it is very hard to control our players. I do not know why they move so slow, and many times they do not throw the ball where you are aiming. I do not know if it is because I am bad or it is the NES controller or what. But even so, the game is pretty colorful and liked it despite not being much of a baseball fan. The music and animations make a good combination. I am sure many of you would also like it even if you are not really into baseball. For that reason I give it a 7. Alright homies, that has been all for now. I want to celebrate that we have already reached the impressive number of 2 subscribers. To celebrate, I am going to give out the impressive amount of 1 trillion Zimbabwe dollars among my first 2 subscribers. I hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next video.